Hello to you, my fellow Dark Ones. How are you guys doing today? How's life? And yes, welcome to another episode of Project Infinity 1.0. We are starting today's episode by getting a few shulker data models. We hit the jackpot. I don't know why, but the loot in the end cities always makes me excited. And I'm contemplating as to why. But very cool, we have 2 shulker data models and they are advanced. Since I'm also in need of blaze rods, let's also take a few for blazes. What is that? I like you. Don't know why. Dying Ember. Aha. Okay, my blaze data models are not superior. There were so many blazes, what can you do? Also, I did notice that I really need to get some predictions as well as some resources. This is why I have assembled the loot fabricators and the simulation chambers. Obviously, it's just a temporary setup. And to be honest with you, it's very power hungry because it's consuming like 250,000 RF. I think it's because of the gauntlet guy. Yeah. That consumes 50,000 RF per tick. And I have 4 data models. It does give me ancient debris, so I can't really complain. What is this? Lavium ingot. A torturino. Also the ultimate ingot, okay. Give me a bit. So remember, last episode we got into a teeny tiny bit of thermal expansion so that we can get good upgrades. And we did notice that we're missing blaze rods, shulker shells. This is why I got the data models. In between the episodes, I haven't done much. I have just set in a few patterns and I also made literally 1 automation for the ancient dust. If you guys remember, this ancient dust has way more uses, but we needed that in order to make dragon steel ingot from thermal expansion. So what I have done is that I have a magma crucible and a crystallizer. The magma crucible is taking in glowstone, it's outputting it inside the crystallizer, and we're duping the ancient dust. The crystallizer is configured to output and input to a drawer on top. So I'm assuming it always has a supply to dupe. And well, this is why I wanted those resources, because I wanted to get the best linkage amplifiers as well as the best integral components. It's working at a decent speed. Glowstone is not keeping up, but that's fine, it's decently fast. Also, before the new update hits, I'm making more polonium, don't you worry. And before we get to the actual plan for today's episode, we need to do some upgrades to mechanism. So last episode when I was making the alloy, somebody mentioned that, well, if you don't show the recipe of the alloy, how would we know if it's expensive or not? So the hypercharged alloy that I made, I don't know, like 2 episodes ago, just requires uranium. You know, you make some enriched uranium, you put it inside the metallurgic infuser with an atomic alloy, and you get the hypercharged alloy. Today we're going to try and go 1 tier higher, which is Radiance. The Radiance alloy requires again the atomic alloy as well as Radiance. Aha. Long story short, we need to get Radiance dust, which comes from uranium oxide and glowstone inside an osmium compressor. And the way that we get the uranium oxide is with the yellow cake uranium. So that is a pattern for yellow cakes and it's already ready. So the yellow cake has to be converted into uranium oxide and we have to do this inside the chemical oxidizer. I did check, you cannot put the yellow cake inside the osmium compressor. And I'll be very honest with you, I don't think you can put the uranium oxide inside the osmium compressor. Maybe you can. Let's check. So glowstone will be from down, uranium oxide will be from the west. So can you make me radiance? Oh, you can. Okay, that worked. So obviously that radiance has to be enriched. And if we want to have a pattern, 2 atomic alloy should give us 2 radiance alloy. You know, because of the ratio of the radiance. So let's see if we can make it. Yeah. Lovely. So with the brand new alloy, obviously we can make better cables. And also a far better tier installer. Which also requires a brand new circuit, but that's not a big deal. Unfortunately, for some reason, you cannot use the tier installer. But if you get yourself an ultimate factory, you should be able to upgrade that one. You know, like so. So does it have more slots? Not really. Why is this a higher tier alloy? Oh, I think I got it. There is an absolute overclocked crushing factory. Long story short, I just want a better crushing factory. So let's take these again. Okay, so I have made myself an absolute overclocked crushing factory. And yeah, it has way more slots. Just compare it. By way more, I mean like 1, 2. It does require a combiner because you need to make a weird circuit. It's from Mechanism Extras. I'm not picky. As long as things are not from Content Tweaker, I'm really happy. Wait a minute. You can't pick it up. Oops. Can you wrench it? Okay. Because this is a very expensive block. I didn't want to lose it. But look how fast it's crafting everything. I love this one. So I just discovered something fun. Our mob farm is giving us armor. And it's not just any armor, it's the armor from Evolved Mechanism. You know, the mod that we're working with. So if you guys remember last episode I was talking about how the hell would I get better gold and it required antimatter, etc. You can just smelt the boots. Yeah, and you bypass the spent nuclear waste part. I was voiding them. we shouldn't. So obviously first we need to repair everything, and for that I think we have to use a powered anvil. Because I'm not gonna do things manually, obviously. We need crystallized obsidian, and yeah. The reason that I have so many buckets is that somebody drops it in the mob farm. But let us go to the nether. There used to be a slime island nearby. I do say nearby, I have absolutely no idea where it is. It's just that I remember I have seen some. I guess that one will do. We want this, the fluid. Let me kill you. This is a very cheaty way of doing this, otherwise there are recipes for making this fluid. I don't know if we need the slime, but let's take that one as well. So with the buckets that I have just gathered, we can make crystallized amber, right? So the crystallized amber part is fine, we already got a few. Now we need to make the obsidian. That does require earth slime, that means we need to have a smeltery. I didn't do much, I just made a seared heater, the seared melter, and a casting basin. You know, you need that in order to make the smeltery controller. It's a totally unnecessary process. We don't really need to have a smeltery, so I'm just going to set it up over here. You know, at our enchantment area. Well, I do say that we don't really need to have a smeltery, but maybe later down the line we need something from Tinkers. The thing is, I never checked. Yeah, actually we have to put it on this side, I have more space. Ladies and gentlemen, I have set up the smeltery, and that is our earth slime bucket. And that means that is our crystallized obsidian. But what we wanted was the powered anvil. Let us also get a pipe. It's very loud, I'm sorry. What can you do? There are weird mobs. But yeah, we should be able to power the anvil, and it should repair things. It's a bit slow, but I'm not picky. We should also have an extra furnace here. Perfect. And that's it. Better gold nuggets. It's not gonna be much, but it's something. Also remember, I have been voiding it, so we should actually get a decent number. Okay, screw whatever I have done. We don't need the anvil, because it always gives you a nugget anyways. But it's okay, we did need crystallized obsidian, so I'm not that picky. If this system works fine, maybe we can have a zombie spawner, because zombies are the ones who are wearing armor, right? That's the thought. But anyways, now let's get to the actual plan for the episode. Draconic evolution. So I am generating a ton of power, that is 20 solar panels. But we are getting at a stage that we are consuming a ton of power, so we need to have a buffer. And we are not going to go with anything smaller than the Draconic Energy Core tier 8. So we might have a few problems. One of them is that that's our entire supply of Draconium unless I start sieving some endstone. And secondly, we don't have any automations. Until I get the Wyvern Energy Injector, I don't think I'm going to automate anything. So let's get a few. We're going to go with 24 for 2 sets. That is our first set of crafting injectors. We shall have a 2-block gap, another 2 blocks, and we shall have the second set of injectors. Okay, the crafting core is valid. And if we have all the ingredients in our inventory, we can just shift click. Perfect. I do have to do the upgrades manually. It doesn't make sense to automate, remove, and then automate. So see you in a bit. The Wyvern injectors are ready. I do need to make 10 more, which I'm going to do. And in the meantime, I'm also landscaping. So at least we will have a space to place down that stupid core whenever it's ready. But yeah, that should be 10 more. I'm still working up here, and I decided to also make some awakened draconium. We have 100 blocks. More is being made. Because honestly, this is not the part that I enjoy. That was really not the part that I would enjoy, but at least this part is the part that I can tolerate. We need to automate everything. It's the same setup that I did in All the Mods 10 and Stone Block 4, so nothing too fancy. Basically every single crafting injector is on single mode, you know, you sneak and right click. For hiding all the cables, I'm using entangled blocks, and for sorting everything, I'm using XNet. Ooh, this looks weird. Yeah, this is better. So the pattern provider is on lock crafting until primary crafting results are returned. Everything goes into the barrel on top. XNet is going to extract everything from the barrel and on a higher priority put everything inside the crafting core. You see, priority is 10. Then it will distribute the rest of the items between the crafting injectors. Once the crafting is complete, it will extract from the core and put it back inside the pattern provider. There's also a hovering glass on top. 3 seconds should be fine. Oh, and yeah, I'm now using Draconic wireless energy crystals. So up here everything is almost wireless. But if I want a Draconic core, that should be super easy. Without any filters. That is awesome. You can also automate it using packaged Draconic, but I don't think we're there yet. Maybe we are, not sure. But we will do that with extreme crafting. For the moment, this will do. I think this system will also work with something like Awakened Draconium. Let's give it a test. Yeah, I didn't mess it up. Cause you know, for Awakened Draconium, 4 items go inside the crafting core. But if we make sure that everything is going to be picked up on stacks, I think we're fine. Well, it works. Can't really complain. Although we should put it inside the second set. It doesn't really make sense to make everything inside one, then also wait for Awakened Draconium. This is why we have 2. Let's try to make one more set. See if the second one is also working without any boo-boos. That was super easy. You should although pick it up in stacks. It's a bit faster. So one of the things that I have also done is that I have the other solar panels, the upgraded version, on auto crafting. It's just that we're missing clay. I do have mystical agriculture crops, but this also works fine. It's a garbage automation, and it's fast. What was that? Oh, we're sieving, yes. Another very important comment that I received 2 episodes ago was that, Lash, did you know that you can enchant the Inferium infusion crystal with Unbreaking 8 and it will never break? And it doesn't. We don't lose any durability. So the short answer is no. The long answer is, I hate you. I really do. Why? I actually hate myself the most. But I can't be too mad at myself, I have mesmerizing eyes. You know. But thank you for the amazing tip. Why are we doing this manually then? Can I do that with all of them? I can do that with all of them. Yeah. If that is the case, let us try to get a crafter from RF Tools. We have that, right? Yeah. Yeah, it would be stupid to have XNet and not RF Tools. So for the moment, in order to set everything up, let's put it over there. What is that? Wait, when you place it down, it tells you the TPS? Interesting. When you do have the garbage infusion crystals, you cannot craft the blocks. You see, that one requires the master infusion stone. Also work faster. Thank you. Therefore, unlike the previous session, our first pattern is going to be for Prudentium. Then it's going to be Tertium, also internal. Imperium, also internal. You have to update it. And I'll get the rest of the stones. This is working great and we got like 7 blocks of Insanium. The 8th one is getting prepared. I just hooked it up to an export bus, but we do have to change it. Actually, we can't maybe change it because the most amount of Inferium we're getting is from our mob farm. Well, the main reason that I did mention that we have to fix the Inferium situation is that, well, once we run out of Inferium, which we will eventually do, you see, 51,000 is left. Then when I'm looking at my terminal, it's just gonna jump. But I think there is a way around it, so we can have Inferium Essence inside the workbench with a view cell. And we want an inverter card, you know, this guy. And if I put it in there and take the view cell out with the Inferium and put it here, it's no longer going to show me Inferium and, well, the terminal is not going to jump. So now that we can autocraft Insanium blocks, there is a machine that we can make. There is something called Advanced Awakening Altar. It has 2 tiers. We can't do that. Oops. Well, we can, but we don't have a good infrastructure for Botania and I need to automate a lot of things and I also have to get a data model for the Gaia Guardian. So maybe next episode. Today we're just gonna focus on the core. Also no clue how much Awakened Draconium we're going to need. Let's go with 500 blocks. I don't know how to make that block. Yes, 500. I don't really know the number, that's my main problem. I think what we have to do is that the stabilizers have to be up to 8 blocks away. That is 5, 6, and 8 minus 1. Actually, maybe it can also be 6 blocks with the maximum tier of the energy core. Cause I do remember that in all the mods 10, everything was within one chunk. Or maybe I'm wrong, we will check. Yeah, it does fit. So we don't need like 600 Awakened Draconium. Well, I just ordered 1,000 Draconium blocks. Let's try to assemble. Bit by bit. Yeah, you definitely don't need that much. Okay, maybe in half an hour we will have enough. Don't you worry. But we're good. We're also going to install the pylons. We shall have 2 glass on top like so. Because you know, the core is at the top. Pylons were up there, then the glass would have been under the pylons. But we right click on the glass and one of them should be input, the other one output. I'm not 100% sure, we got 44 more blocks, let's see how much we're missing. Quite a bit. Maybe another 40 blocks or so. Anyways, while that is being made, let's get a few data models. In this version it's called Model Framework and every time I forget. And we are going to go to the Lost Cities. And I have also made myself an advanced dislocator so we can have a waypoint. We don't care about the cake. We have already found the basalts from thermal expansion, now we're looking for Blizz and Blitz. Blizzes are found in cold biomes, Blitzes I think everywhere. What? Oh, that guy. Don't know what he does. We kill all of them in our mob farms, I've never seen them. Oh, that was a good demon. I'm sorry. So I was looking for a Blitz, I found the castle. You know, the guy from Cataclysm. We enable night vision. And we stab people in the back. Who's hitting me? Whoever it is, he's hitting me through a wall. Oh, hello. Let me come in. Good morning. Well, the big guy dropped the key already, but I don't mind having a spawner for one of them. They have beautiful heads. Or skulls. So if that is the case, let us try to get one swap from the big guy. And then we kill all of them. You didn't die, jerk. So now that we're up to the final guy, let's get a bit more swaps. And let's try to open the door. Voila. Let's hope I don't die. And let us also get some apples, just in case. Wait, you didn't even spawn, you started shooting. So we have one swap, two swaps. Remember, we need his data model. That is one data model and... Come on, wait. We have two. Should we get four? I don't know. Now that we have the data models, let's try to kill him. He has a lot of health. I'm just saying. He's one of the coolest bosses ever. I love his animation, and he does have a bow. Honestly speaking, with the mecha suit, this is not a terrible fight. Yeah, and I don't really think you can summon him again immediately. Yeah. Or maybe you should summon him again with the Eye of the Curse. No, it's a good thing we got our swaps. Anyways, this time we have killed someone who we know that has a DNA, and we also know that it has a spawn egg, so let's give it a test. Yeah, I'm actually going to fight him in the same chamber because that chamber is unbreakable, and he does break blocks. But I'm actually very happy, finally we're getting a data model for a boss. Not you. So I can spawn him, right? Great. I don't know how this information can be useful for you, but when I summoned the second guy, he spawned a cursed tombstone, and therefore the original one I did manage to activate. So we did not consume an egg. Yeah, you see, our data models are now basic, I killed the guy, this one is now active, and this one is deactive. I don't know, I just found it weird. Finally, for a second, I thought you can't find the blitz. It's a good thing that they spawn. Although they don't really spawn on the surface for some reason, I think it's because of snow. It covers everything. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back at the base. Our awakened blocks are ready. So please finish the damn thing. Are we good? We're good. Finally. So obviously, as usual, we're going to make a brand new channel called the core or power reserve or whatever. We changed you to that one as well. So now power should be going into the core. That's perfect. 10 million RF. What? Oh, we have reserve. Yes. But then we're going to extract it from here as well. This one will be base power. And ignore limit. Now we know that we're consuming 300,000 RF. And we are generating 1.3. That's not bad. So if everything is working fine, can I upgrade some of the solar panels? 4 of them. Somebody said that I don't have to use a trash can. I can just put it in my crafting grid. Then it will be empty. I didn't know that. Was it like this in Project Ozone as well? I don't know. But yeah, obviously we can craft the brand new solar panel. This one generates 262,000 RF. Let's upgrade the rest. You know, you will get half the solar panels, but at least it's quadruple the power. And we already have 16, which is a lovely number. So that should give me 8 brand new ones. Awesome. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is 2.6 million RF. I think, yeah, we're consuming some of that. But yeah, exactly, 2.6. Another very important thing is that our data models are now basic. So we have 2 for the guy from Cataclysm. I can't read his name. Maledictus. Oh, that's not hard. So let's spawn 2 of him, 2 blizzes, and 2 blitzes. I don't know if it's possible or not, but the entire reason that I want a data model for basalts, blitzes, and blizzes is for this guy, the Infinity 1. Well, we don't need it for Infinity 1, but next episode, if it's possible, I want to try and craft this. Obviously, once we craft it, it's like neutral steel of the first magnitude, but additional technologies will be unlocked. Converting it into a higher tier 1 requires molten blizz, blitz, and basalts. Then we can make Infinity 2 and Infinity 3, and obviously 4. Then we can get the Master Infusion Stone as well. Alright, my fellow lords and ladies of darkness, for some reason it has been a while later, and I think I'm a bit sick. So this might be a bit of a shorter episode, and we might have to postpone our plans for one more episode, I'm not sure. Obviously, it all depends how far we can go. I want to be able to clean up our Botania area as best as I can, so therefore, we need a ton of Terra Steel. But thankfully, we also have a decent buffer, so this shouldn't be a big deal. In order to move everything, I'm going to need more gizmos from Botanical Extra Machinery Reforged. And all of that requires a ton of Terra Steel. I used some of the Terra Steel as well as some Gaia Guardian Spirits in order to make the Mana Collector from Mythic Botany. And if you put a Recessive Augment with a Spark on top, it's going to be super fast. These were almost empty. So if that is the case, let us try to get some more Wither Aconites. Like so. And try to generate a crazy amount of mana. You connect to you. And you to you. I have gathered some resources. That should be the Alfheim market. So we don't need the portal. Well, we might need the portal in order to walk through it. But the fun things about these machines is that they do work with sparks. Yeah, now it's getting mana. So if I put some mana still inside, I will get Elementium. Yeah, That's true. These are weird. I have made a few bits and bobs. Well, we already made the market. I have the agglomeration factory. I also made a mechanical mana pool, and we already had the runic altar. So 4 machines for now. So they're off the list. However, I have also noticed there is something called a mana battery. And if you read the book, it will tell you that this block can store 10 times as much as a single mana pool. So that's actually quite good. Although the problem is that it's a bit expensive, and also I have no idea how to make these guys. Mana emerald. Are you joking? Well, let's get the one. See how it goes. This one requires a greater band of mana. That explains. We have more terra still, don't you worry. So that should be our first mana battery. If it doesn't work with sparks, I'm screwed. So here is a spark. Nothing happened. Here is a dominant spark. That did something. Let's take it. I do have to work on the huts, but I think in one of them we can set up our Botania area. How do you make bamboo? Not this one, the plank. I like this, yes. So sparks have a range of, I think, 12 blocks, if I'm not wrong. I could be wrong. Therefore, if we have some sort of a mana battery up here, it should power every single machine down here. Also, we need to convert our wither aconites into the floating version, so let's get some glimmering flowers, some pasture seeds and some dirts. That should give us the floating flower, and we just switch them with wither aconite, like so. It does make it so that we don't really have to place them on dirt. That's the most important thing. So here is my mana collector. It does require a spark, you also require a spark, and we want a recessive augment. That one. That goes on the mana spreader. So now if we drop some nether stars, we should get some mana. They're not linked, yes. Do you need to be dominant? I don't know what was wrong. I just replaced everything. Now it's getting mana. I never counted mana, but for the moment we can have our machines over here and we are going to automate them. So let's get a few pattern providers. I'm sorry, but this is so weird. I shouldn't laugh. It's not good for me. It hurts a bit. I have made a P2P tunnel, we have a wireless terminal, and everything is hooked up to our applied energistic system. And I actually forgot that we already had a mechanical daisy. I have set in the patterns that 1 stone equals 1 living rock, and it works fine. That's the only machine that doesn't auto-output. You have to have an import bus. Let's get more patterns. Mana steel, mana diamond, mana pearls, everything like so. So the market is going to receive the elementium stuff, the mana pool is going to receive the mana stuff. And if I want to order, I don't know, 100 elementium... What happened? Why are you saying you're done? I don't really think that part is good because it's not done, but it's being done. Mana steel is way faster, but that's also done for some reason. They are a bit buggy. I give you that. And I think all of them do require to have a dominant augment, if you want to take some mana from the battery. I have also set in all the patterns for every single rune, at least from Botania, not from Mythic Botany. If that one also goes smoothly, I'm fine. That's not the runic altar. That's the runic altar. Yeah, and it does work. That's perfect. So now it is an actual tech mod. However, before we wrap up today's episode, we need to take the patterns out. We deposit them inside the chest. Because what I want to be able to do is that I want to remove this pattern provider. As I have already mentioned, every episode, we're going to make 1 tier of seeds. And with this brand new machine, this is gonna be like super easy. So we shall have some living rock inside. That is our crafting seeds and the essences. And that one should be boron. For some reason, cognizant dust is also a tertium one. Didn't know that. I was expecting higher, but that should be lithium. Iron is tier 3? I actually thought we have already made it. Copper is something that I need a lot. So let's get 4 seeds. Obsidian we have already made. Prismarine. That's actually quite easy. We're getting it from sieving. Zombie we have to kill. Actually no, we don't have to kill. We use the machine. But yeah, for the moment craft these ones. Also I did not pay attention. Glowstone and redstone are blocks. Not that it really matters. So there you go. That is all the seeds that I have just mentioned. We also have enriched iron. Skystone is fine. Ironwood, yeah, we have some. Steel leaf could be problematic. Oh, we have 8. Do you need the blocks? No. But we can have mana steel. Conductive alloy we don't have, but we have it on auto crafting. So you craft these guys. There is something called redstone alloy. I didn't have a pattern for it. And apparently it's also a quest. Cool. We get money. And we're out of seeds. I'm crafting so many of them. I have also made as many seeds as I could, including blitzes, bleezes, and etc. And these are the ones that are left. They're mainly from tinkers. But yeah, we're getting all the quests. So many quests. I'm still getting them. And I did not pay attention how many seeds I have made. That's a lot. Yeah, let me plant everything. This could take some time. Yeah, I would say that's a decent number of seeds. There's so many more left. Yeah, I think tier 4 is gigantic, tier 5 is not that bad, and tier 6 is, well, they should be the most expensive, I suppose. You need 4 chaotic cores for a nitro crystal. Why? It's cheaper to craft it, unless it has a singularity or something. Also, we might as well upgrade these guys. Cause I think I have enough crystals. Well, even if we get 2 of them, that's still better than these 8. Also, I do remember somebody was telling me that there are better chances of getting these things in the nether, but let's check. So the first one was the same. Second one is also the same. Third one, is it the same? No. Nether has higher chances. Yeah, in general, Nether has higher chances for all of them. Minus the one that I already got. I'm assuming if we want to have the Void Miner in the Nether, we somehow have to manage to reach Bedrock. I don't want to do that, but I think I have found a decent spot. Nether Roof. Also, don't judge me, there are like 50 billion different versions of Minecraft. In some of them something works, in some of them something does not. Here it works. Mushrooms! Yes! I can craft mushrooms. Yes, I'm sorry. I don't really understand what this multi-block is, but I just love it. Just wanted to mention that. But this is the tier 2 miner that we want to craft. Items go in, and I don't know, place it there. Oh yeah, the glass. There you go. I wanted to make 2 of them, but I didn't have enough crystals. Another thing is that I have made speed upgrades on auto crafting, so let's get 2, and we replace these. I wouldn't know if it's faster or not. I'm assuming it's faster. But just in case, let us have a mega torch somewhere around here. I don't know if mobs can spawn on these or not. I got skeletons in the overworld. Why did I order a draconic chest? I just wanted a chest. And we already got the next tier of crystal. That's not bad. And it's not a quest. Okay, I guess this place has to remain chunk loaded for a very long time, and let us also make a waypoint. Around here is fine. I got another crystal. Okay, maybe in the nether it's fast. I did notice that some of them are dimensionally sensitive, and I think there are also a few things that I can get from the end. But we will see. This takes time. Let's go home. And just before we wrap up, we're going to have 10 more solar panels. I think I have to go to the doctor. Also remember, these solar panels, we are actually making them from scratch, so it's gonna take a bit of time. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one. Bye bye.